Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs, and today I have another video explaining how to assemble the house box cards. So I've already done one with this haunted house. This is perfect for Halloween, and it has the tower and all the windows. You fold it over, it has a place for you to write your message or whatever. And so I've got another one. This is the schoolhouse. What a fun project for back to school, a student's first day of school, teacher last day of school, teacher appreciation, graduation, so many fun things. And again, you just flip it over and it has a place to write your note or your little sentiment. So today I'm going to do the Christmas church house. It's a little bit different than the haunted house, but the assembly is pretty much the same as it is for the schoolhouse. So I did not do an assembly video for the schoolhouse because it's so close to the church house, Christmas church house, but the Christmas church house actually has more pieces. So let's go ahead and get started. I kind of layered everything on here because there are a lot of pieces, and some of them are little tiny, but the machine will cut them out without any problem. You just want to make sure you don't drop them on the floor. So with my little red bows, I actually cut out a couple of extras. Okay, so your first piece, this is actually the outside of your box card, and it has your door and your two wreaths and the stairs, and we'll assemble that here in a minute. The first insert piece has a window and some Christmas garland. The second piece is your tower, and it has the roof with the Christmas flower, the bell, and some more garland. We'll do that in just a second. Then your back piece has 4 sets of windows, your roof, and some more garland. And then this is your final back piece. This just covers everything up in the back, covers up all your tabs, gives it a nice finished look. And then there's just a plain square for the back that you can use to either handwrite or stamp a sentiment, a greeting, or whatever you would like. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take my first piece, and I just noticed that I had this flipped over. My paper has a little bit of texture on it, and I want to use the texture. So we're going to flip it over to the textured side. And the first thing on this one that you'll want to do is you're going to add your garland, and it just goes right along that roof line right there. There's no shadow for it or anything. And the reason I did that was I was going to do it with a shadow, and then I decided if you wanted to use this card for, say, Easter or a christening, a baptism, blessing, something like that, you don't want the Christmas garland on there. So all you're going to do is just add that along that straight line, the roof line, with a little bit of glue. Okay, then the next is we're going to add the roof. And if I were doing this to send to somebody, I would probably ink this all up and just give it some dimension. You could also run it through an embossing folder. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and add our ribbons, our little red bows. And like I said, I did cut some extras out, so we don't need all of these. And they just go right on the top, on the edge of that roof line. And when this card is folded flat, you're actually not going to see those two middle ones, or excuse me, when it's opened up. But I still put them on there so that when you're looking down on it, you can see them, or depending on which way you fold it, they'll still be there. So that's an option if you don't want to put all the little ribbons on. You don't have to in that middle piece, right through there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add our windows, and I'm just going to lay them on there for placement first. They're all the same size. And these bottom two go right next to the bottom. So let's go ahead and put those on there. And you do want to make sure that they're on the side of your card, because again, the bell tower will cover them up if they're not, and then you won't be able to see them. Oops. So yeah, just put these bottom ones on first and line them up with the bottom, and then the others just fit in right there on the top. And if you wanted to, you could actually even put the windows on first and then hang your garland, and that way if you've squished yourself in, your garland's actually gonna hang over the window a little bit. So in fact, that's what I should have done. But I got so excited about showing you where the garland went. We'll do it on the next piece. Okay. Just line them up as best you can. They do not have to be perfect. And I hope you can see this. The problem with making things out of white or tan paper is sometimes they don't show up on the camera as well as they do in real life. But this is so pretty. Okay, so there is our back piece. So the next piece is going to be our tower, our bell tower. So I'm going to add my bell first. It just glues right on there to the shadow. You don't have to worry about where you're going to hang him because he's just perfectly right there. And then we'll put the window frame around that bell. I'm sorry if this is taking too long. I usually have my pieces layered before I put these videos together, but I wanted you to see how they go together. Okay, so now we're going to take our little garland piece, and again, we're just going to place it along that roof line. Okay, then on this one, we actually want to put our red piece on first, and you're going to want to make sure that you've got everything lined up because it's not a perfect triangle. Put that red piece on there, and then our roof that has the Christmas flower already cut out. Slide it down there. Okay, and then again, we just need our little bows. Whoops, I pulled that right off and then re-glued it. These are such fun cards. I love box cards. They're perfect because you can mail them and then you can pop them open and display them on a desk, a mantle, shelf, whatever. All right, there is your bell tower. The next piece is this first insert, and it has all the same pieces, so it goes together pretty much the same. I am going to put the window on first, and it's the triple window. It does kind of go up towards the roof. You don't want it right on top, but and now we'll take our garland, same as before, and line it up right along that roof line. This paper has just a little bit of texture on one side. And with my window, it's hard to see where the texture is. Okay, I'll line it right up there to the top. put our roof piece on. Again, this would be really cool, ran through an embossing machine. And I almost did that, but then everybody thinks, well, mine didn't turn out like that. So I have to just show you the basics, and you get to make it all fancy and then share it with us. Okay, so then last is these little bows. Again, the bows are all the same size, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about mixing them up or, you know, trying to figure out which one's smaller and which one's bigger. They're all the same size. The garland is actually the same depth, but it is a different. We have 4 loops, 3 loops, and 2 loops. And then the wreaths. So I made this as easy as possible without losing any of the detail or the fun of it. Okay, so there is your first insert piece. And then the last piece is our outside box, and it is the door and the stairs. So to assemble that, you've got your stair outline. And you're just going to match it up, and it comes all the way to the bottom of the box. Okay. And then our door pieces, take those wreaths off. They are going to lay on there so that there's kind of a shadow all the way around. It does not go quite to the bottom because you want that door frame, that shadow, it's the door frame to show. Okay. And then we're going to do our stairs, so you'll put on the fatter stair first because it does go all the way to the bottom. I want to make sure I got glue on both ends. And then you'll put on the skinnier stair. And this is exactly how you do the schoolhouse as well. The door is pretty much the same. Okay, now we're going to put our wreaths on the door. And then you'll put your bows on the wreath. And I have people ask me about these little bottles all the time. I just bought mine off of Amazon, but I've seen them at Michael's and I've seen them at Joann's. And they're usually over with the quilling supplies. And they're just blank bottles, and you fill it up with your favorite glue, and then they're reusable until they get too gummed up. So I buy them in a package of 6, and then I probably fill it about 3 times before I throw it away and get a new bottle out. And then they do have these little covers to keep your tip from getting clogged up. Okay, so now we have our pieces. We're going to take this front piece, or this is the box base, and we're going to fold on the score lines down towards the desk or away from us. The assembly on these are the same as almost all of my box cards. And they go together pretty quick, especially after you've done 1 or 2. You'll just become a pro and just know exactly what you're doing. Okay, then we're going to take our front piece, and this time we're going to bend the tabs up towards us. And I just realized I didn't put those on the textured side of the paper. That's all right. I'm going to put glue on those 2 tabs. Okay, we're going to fold this front piece over. We're going to take our front insert piece, and we're going to align this left side of the tab onto the right side of the first score line. You don't want it on the score line, you want it just next to it. Okay, we're going to fold it over, press it, get a good adhesion. And then when you fold it over, it should line up right next to that next score line. Just going to fold that over, press it, And then I fold it in both directions, make sure it's bendable both ways. Okay, so there's our first insert with our doors. Now we're going to take the bell tower and we're going to turn the tabs towards the desk or away from us. And then we're going to put our glue on the front of those tabs. This is turning into a long video, I apologize. Okay, we're going to again take our front piece, flip it over, and this time we're going to flip our bell over and we want to put the right side of that tab along the left side of the score line. Press it, you can even press the tab over, get a good grip, good adhesion, bend it over, and now we want the right side of that tab on the left side of this score line. Bend it both directions. Now we want to put tape or glue on the inside of this first tab. And these outer tabs are a little bit bigger than the inside tabs, and that's just so that it has some extra strength to it. Okay, we're going to take our back piece and we're going to line up the left side of this back piece onto the right side of the score line. Just like that. And there should be a little tiny gap between your tab and your back piece. Okay, fold it over. Now we're going to put glue on this tab. I always spin mine upside down, I guess, because I'm right-handed and it's easier. Okay, and now we're going to put the left side of your back piece right up against the right side of that final score line. Fold that over and bend it. If your card bows just a little bit, it's probably the thickness of the paper. It has nothing to do with the file or the way you cut it out or assembled it. It's most likely the thickness of the paper because all the papers are a little bit different in thickness. So there is your Christmas church house box card. Just folds flat and pops open. And now we can turn it over and we can finish it off by adding this last back piece to cover up the tabs, and it does give a little bit of strength to that final back piece. I'm just going to lay that flat and match everything up. And then we have this optional rectangle square that you can put on the back to add your note, your sentiment, whatever. And again, and I think I explained this on the haunted house box card, I can't remember, that you could even put a gift card back there if you wanted to. Use one of the gift card pockets from another file. Okay, so there is our church house box card, Christmas church house box card. Again, this is the the Halloween haunted house box card, and then the schoolhouse box card. And the schoolhouse has the flag that goes on front, but it is pretty much assembled the same way that the church house is. So that is all for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Please hit subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you soon.